There exists a love so profound, so all-encompassing, that it goes beyond the bounds of reason and logic. This is not the love we hear of in everyday conversations or fleeting emotions. It is the love between the soul and the divine, the love that transcends material existence and taps into the deepest layers of consciousness. Yet, many remain oblivious to this powerful force, unaware that it even exists. Not because it's hidden, but because it requires a certain awareness, a shift in frequency to be truly felt. Most people are confined by their limited perception, trapped in a cycle of mind chatter, unaware of the vastness that lies beyond their immediate thoughts. But imagine for a moment if you could break through that barrier, if you could elevate your awareness, shift your focus, and experience love not as a mere emotion, but as a universal, all-pervading force. What would that mean for your life? How would it change the way you see the world, your relationships, and even yourself? In this video, we are going to explore the essence of divine love through the eyes of ancient mystic, Hafez, whose poetry reflects a timeless connection to this infinite force. He is widely regarded as one of history's greatest mystical poets. His name, meaning one who has memorized, reflects his mastery of sacred texts, especially the Quran. But Hafez's poetry transcends traditional religious thought, offering profound insights into divine love that resonate universally. His verses were not just poetic expressions, they were windows into the kind of love that transcends the ordinary and brings us closer to the divine. By the end of this video, you will gain insights into how divine love is intertwined with the very fabric of existence. You'll discover how, by shifting your attention and tuning into higher frequencies, you can access a reservoir of power, wisdom, and peace that resides within you. So let us delve into one of Hafez's most profound and impactful poems. These verses embody his understanding of divine love and the mystical truths that transcend time and space. Through these lines, Hafez guides us to experience a reality beyond the visible, inviting us to see the infinite love that governs existence. The verses are as follows.
Those unfamiliar with the gaze of divine love remain bewildered, while I, as I am, reveal myself. Yet only they who have seen with the heart truly understand. The wise may be but points on the compass of existence, but love knows that we are lost in this circle, wandering endlessly. The radiance of her face is not seen by my eyes alone, for the sun and the moon are mirrors reflecting her light.
Hafez's poetry often presents a world where love is not just a human emotion, but a reflection of divine truth. In the first part of poem, what Hafez is showing here is the contrast between those who perceive life through the limited lens of the intellect and those who have opened their hearts to a higher understanding, a direct experience of divine love. This gaze is not a mere glance, it is a spiritual seeing that connects one to the essence of the universe, the hidden power that governs all existence. It requires one to move beyond the constraints of rationality, to embrace a perception that is far more profound than any mental comprehension. Those who have not attuned themselves to this deeper perception remain confused, unable to understand the mystical truth that love reveals. Hafez declares that he has shown himself not as an ego or a personality, but as a being united with that divine love. He speaks not from the level of ordinary human experience, but from the perspective of one who has dissolved into the truth of divine love. Yet he knows that only those attuned to the frequency of this love can recognize what he reveals. His self-expression is not meant for the masses who are bewildered, but for the few who have seen with the heart, the ones who understand that love is the foundation of all existence. It is a love that transcends the limitations of form, the ego, and the mind. This love is not bound by personal desires or affections, but is a reflection of the unity of all things, an eternal connection to the divine source. He goes further to describe the wise as mere points on the compass of existence. But love, in its true form, moves beyond these limits. The compass, representing logic and reason, can only guide us so far. It can help us navigate the world of forms and appearances, but it is incapable of leading us to the heart of the divine mystery. But to truly experience the divine, we must transcend this logical understanding and let ourselves become lost in the circle, as Hafez suggests. In this circle, we find the endless, boundless nature of love, where surrender and bewilderment become the pathways to truth. The circle is an ancient symbol of wholeness, infinity, and unity, reminding us that in divine love there are no boundaries, no separation between the lover and the beloved. Hafez speaks to this surrender in many of his poems. To the rational mind, his words may seem chaotic or without order, but for those who have experienced the divine, they reveal a deeper truth. He expresses that in the presence of divine love, the mind is helpless. It cannot comprehend what the heart intuitively knows. This is a key teaching in Hafez's work. The idea that true understanding comes not through the mind, but through the heart. The heart, in this sense, is not just a symbol of emotion, but of spiritual insight, a deeper knowing that transcends intellectual thought. When we surrender the mind's need for control and certainty, we open ourselves to the infinite wisdom that flows from divine love. The poet tells us that the sun and the moon themselves are merely reflections of this love, turning like mirrors to show the face of the beloved, the divine presence that animates all things. This is not metaphorical. It is Hafez's lived experience of seeing the divine in everything, an ever-present reality that reveals itself only to those who can see beyond the veil of material existence. This aligns with the wisdom found in ancient spiritual teachings, which suggest that the universe itself is a mirror reflecting the divine. In fact, this mirrors the teachings found in the Quran, where it is written, "Allah subjected for you the sun and the moon, continuous in orbit, and subjected for you the night and the day." 1433. This verse speaks to the idea that the universe is in perfect harmony, each part fulfilling its role as a reflection of the divine order. Hafez, in his mystical vision, saw this same divine orchestration, understanding that everything in creation, whether it be the sun, the moon, or the very fabric of time, is aligned to reveal the beloved. Through these metaphors, Hafez is pointing us toward a realization. The natural world, with all its beauty and order, is not separate from the divine, but is in fact a manifestation of it. The sun and the moon, as Hafez and the sacred texts suggest, are signs placed in the cosmos to guide us back to the source of love. They serve as constant reminders of the divine presence, just as day and night remind us of the rhythm of existence and the cycles of life. But to truly see this, we must be willing to shift our attention, to see beyond the material forms and recognize the spiritual reality that lies behind them. This is what Hafez calls us to, an awakening of perception, where the mundane is transformed into the sacred, where the sun and the moon are no longer just celestial bodies, but reflections of the beloved, constantly reminding us of the divine love that sustains all things. One of the most profound elements of Hafez's teaching is that divine love is not limited to mystical experiences or moments of ecstasy. It is woven into the very fabric of daily life. Whether we are aware of it or not, this love permeates every moment, and it is our attention that determines how much of it we experience. This is why Hafez speaks so often of bewilderment. Those who have not attuned their inner sight to this love remain confused, missing the divine reality that surrounds them. This bewilderment is not a condemnation of those who are unaware, rather, it is an invitation. Hafez's poetry encourages us to shift our attention and look deeper. The divine love he speaks of is not hidden, but requires a change in perception to be recognized. Just as the sun and moon move in perfect rhythm, revealing light and darkness, the divine orchestrates all things. Hafez urges us to see the divine hand behind the daily rhythms of life, to realize that what appears ordinary is, in fact, extraordinary. Hafez often writes about the idea of surrender, not as a loss of control, but as a profound acceptance of the divine order. In this surrender, we are no longer fighting against the flow of life, but aligning ourselves with it. This alignment is the path to true freedom, a state in which we are no longer bound by the limitations of the mind. The bewilderment of the unfamiliar mentioned in the poem comes from their attachment to the mind's limitations, while those who surrender are liberated by love itself. In the presence of divine love, as Hafez shows, the mind cannot fully comprehend. It is only by giving ourselves to love that we begin to see clearly. This is why the sun and moon, though they appear simple to the rational mind, are actually profound symbols of divine orchestration, turning endlessly to reflect the light of the beloved. To understand this is to understand that the entire universe is a reflection of that love, and it is only through attuning our attention to it that we can truly experience it. His words are a call to open the heart and allow divine love to flow freely through us, to become mirrors ourselves, reflecting that love back into the world. In exploring the poetry of Hafez, we have uncovered a profound truth, that divine love is ever present, not as a distant ideal, but as a tangible reality that we can experience in our daily lives. Hafez reminds us that love is the foundation of all existence, and it is through attention and surrender that we come to know it fully. To be attuned to divine love requires us to shift our focus and align with the one opinion that truly matters, the divine attention that watches over us, guiding us with love. By cultivating this awareness, we can surrender to the natural flow of life, knowing that we are always supported and loved, even when challenges arise. As you move forward, remember that divine love is not something you need to seek out. It is already with you. It reveals itself in the simplest moments, in the rhythms of nature, in the quiet of your heart. By directing your attention inward, you can tap into this infinite source of love and bring it into every aspect of your life. I encourage you to take these insights and put them into practice. Begin by paying attention to the divine love that surrounds you, whether it's in the rising sun or a quiet moment of reflection. Ask yourself, how can I align my attention with the highest version of myself? The more you open yourself to this love, the more you will experience its transformative power. Hafez's words are an invitation to a deeper connection with the divine, a call to see beyond the surface of life and experience the boundless love that sustains all things. As you align with this love, you will find that it brings peace, joy, and fulfillment to your journey, guiding you to your highest potential.